Jenna Ortega from Variety. Jenna Ortega says, approaching everything I do with the confidence of the average white man changed my life and made me feel better.
And to Jenna Ortega, I say, you're welcome.
Yes, from our favorite average white man. Jenna Ortega was asked in a Vanity Fair video interview about one of the best pieces of advice she ever received from a mentor. Her answer traced back to her cello instructor on Wednesday, the TV show. The advice pertains to Ortega's own doubts and insecurities whenever she's tackling a new challenge. All the actor has to do in those situations is think like the average white man. The show that I do now, I have to play the cello, and I don't play the cello, Ortega said. I want it to look real so the cellists don't look at it and call me mean names. My teacher told me that as long as I look confident in my movements and I was strong and stoic and, fully embodied the character, that it would be fine. She told me that I just needed to approach everything I do in life with the confidence of the average white man. That changed my life. That made me feel better.
Well, there you go. I actually don't have a problem with this at all. I think whatever you need to do as a person to have confidence, anyone in the entertainment industry knows in some ways they feel like a fraud, right? Like there's the vision of what you think, of what people think you are. And then there's actually doing it. Whenever it's like, fine, think like a white man. If that makes it work for her, I don't have an issue with this at all. People convince themselves they can do things that are kind of ridiculous. So,
right. My only issue is that are these are not necessarily attributes solely pertaining to white men. It's right. Basically, when you enter a room full of people you don't know, or a room that for the first time, it's not the fact that it's not that the room is full of white men. It's filled with people you don't know. And in order to succeed in that room, you have to walk in, read the room, and be confident and act like you belong in that room, no matter who is in that room. For example, Chris, if I were to take you to like one of my, Chinese churches, you could act like the average white man. You'd probably stick out and people would snicker and laugh at you. But if you were smart, you would just read the room and act like everyone else in that room and find yourself instantly feeling confident and feeling comfortable in that room. Has nothing to do with being a white. A white doesn't have anything to do with being a man. It's the room that you're going into. Act like them, fake it till you make it, and you will feel confident and you'll feel comfortable.
I just feel like a lot of the weird, dumb comments we've gotten, like from Rachel Zegler, among others, they have one thing in common. They're all young people.
Yeah.
Who really just haven't lived a lot of life. They've been fed bad ideas. But I really like Jenna Ortega, actually. Yeah. I already have tickets to Beetlejuice. I can't wait.
I don't have anything inherently wrong with, like she said. I think she's giving good advice. I just have the issues with the white man comment because, again, it has nothing to do with being white or being a man.
I think she's being honest, and so it's honest for her. And she is a kind of a kid, to be fair, and she hasn't really said anything overtly mean, or she hasn't said anything too stupid. I think she's just caught in this weird world of entertainment. And really, on Wednesday, I admired her for pushing back against a lot of things against the writers.
Yeah. For protecting her character.
Exactly. She had good instincts. That dance she did as Wednesday was amazing. She made that up herself. Yeah. And that was great.
Yeah. But, okay. So the last thing on this is a mentor of hers who's telling this. When you talk about white supremacy, this is the origins of it. It's white men are not going out there saying, I'm white, I'm supreme. It's people who, these mentors who just instill it upon her that white supremacy exists. So when you go into these rooms, you have to act like, white people. It's this default attitude that white people are automatically better than you. And this is where we get into the problems. This is where I always go to what Morgan Freeman said. When it comes to race, just stop talking about it. We're all Americans. We're all people who who are on this in this country together just learn to get along, and race has nothing to do with it.
This is a weird thing. I met you a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever talk about race ever?
No, we only talk about, honestly, the only time we ever talk about race is when race becomes a subject.
Right, like this kind
like
of
this. Yeah.
I don't remember ever having a conversation with you ever about that. All I remember was like, oh, I write reviews. Like, oh, you should write for us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah. Well, this was always my upbringing. My parents, Chinese immigrants, they succeeded. I would say they did fairly well in the white world. And growing up, all the way through high school, we never talked about race. Never ever talked about race. We had white friends. My first friends were Jewish, Black, and Hispanic, and we never talked about it. They were just my friends at that point. Never have my parents ever said, don't trust these white people, or white people this, white people that. It was never brought up. It was about how to get a job, how to get along with people. That's all we talked about.